Let's get to the Philadelphia Eagles links. NFL Front 7 rankings, all 32 teams after 17 weeks, PFF1. Philadelphia Eagles. Philly was still the gold standard around the league in 2018 thanks in large part to one Fletcher Cox. The defensive tackle somehow took his game to even another level this season with a career-high 95 total pressures. That figure was 17 more than any other player in the NFL not named Aaron Donald. 13 things we learned from the Eagles' wild-card win over the Bears. BGN. Seriously, why would you ever bet against this group? They really do feel like a team of destiny, for the second year in a row. I don't even know what else to say other than they're fun as hell and there's every reason to believe in them. Eagles vs. Saints, 5 matchups to watch when New Orleans has the ball. Philly voice. If you want to feel good about the Eagles' chances this Sunday against the Saints, it's the Drew Brees numbers tailed off as the season wore down. Of course, 3 of those 4 games happened on the road, where Brees wasn't nearly what he was at home this season. And yeah, he's kinda good at the Superdome. From an Eagles media or fan perspective, we viewed the Birds' loss in New Orleans as the Eagles stinking up the joint. And certainly, they did. However, it's also worth noting that Brees was amazeballs in that game. Look at some of these throws and reads. That's a clinic. If Brees is on, no matter how ready the Eagles are to play, the Saints are going to be extremely difficult to beat. However, there is some hope in the fact that Brees didn't have an MVP-like final quarter of the season, and it's also worth noting that the Saints haven't played in a game that has mattered since Week 16, and even then there wasn't much pressure. Just how different. Eagles blitz. The D-line has improved. Tim Jernigan missed the first game. He's now healthy and starting. He started back in November, but wasn't healthy so he made little impact. He is healthy now and really contributing. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Michael Bennett and Chris Long are in a groove. Nigel Bradham is coming off his best game of the year. He looked like the Nigel of 2017. We've missed that guy. The secondary actually has stability. And even some ability. That's very different than the first meeting. Rasul Douglas is playing the best football of his young career. Cre'Von LeBlanc has found a home in the slot and is making a case to keep the job into the future. Avonte Maddox is playing well on the outside. The Bears did attack him with fix and double moves, but Maddox can learn from that. Malcolm Jenkins is still his old self. Corey Graham has played better down the stretch. Having good players around him makes a difference. And Trey Sullivan actually looks like a solid role player. Jim Schwartz can use a nickel or dime package and feel good about it. He's got competent DBs. Doug Peterson's trust in Nick Foles key to making Philly special. ESPN, you can't be scared to speak your mind in situations, said Peterson, who was thinking sprint out for that play as well. I trust the players, and the same is true if they have ideas and they want to bring them to us. I have to trust that, and so the conversation is just that. It's open, it's honest, it's real. It's based on what he's seeing, based on what we're seeing as coaches, what I'm seeing as a play caller, and if the instinct is right, if the gut feel is right, we go with it. Peterson's approach seems counterintuitive to a degree. It would be natural for a coach to clutch the steering wheel extra tight in the most important moments. But as a former quarterback, he has seen things from the other side and recognizes the importance of empowering those who are in the fray. Early lines look divisional. Roto-World. The Saints are 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 playoff games as a favorite, and the over has hit in their last 7 games as a playoff favorite. Meanwhile, those rogue Eagles are 5-0 against the spread as underdogs in January. Early bet, Eagles 8 and the over. The numbers show this is not the same Eagles-Saints matchup. Pay.com. In the Eagles' first 10 games, the offense averaged 257 yards per game and completed 68.8% of passes. Foles and Carson Wentz combined for a passer rating of 95.7, and the Eagles gave up 31 sacks, good for 3.1 sacks per game. In their 6-1 run, the Eagles averaged 280.4 yards per game with a 71.7% completion rating and a passer rating of 104.8. They gave up 10 total sacks, 1.4 per game, and did not allow defensive stars Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, and Khalil Mack to account for any. The Eagles had 16 total offensive touchdowns in their first 10 games, and had 15 in their last 7. They went from averaging 20.5 points per game to 25.4. Nick Foles has been the quarterback for 4 of the 7 games in that stretch. He believes the change is the culmination of a lot of hard work. NFL Power Rankings: Colts, Cowboys roll into divisional round. NFL.com 8 first and goal, down 15-10, under 2 minutes to play. Last chance saloon for the Eagles to defend their Super Bowl title. They call Darren Sproles number. Nothing doing. Bears coach Matt Nagy calls a timeout to leave time for Chicago's offense should Philly score. Second and goal. Sproles again. Stonewalled. Nagy calls another timeout. Third and goal. Doug Peterson calls a pass play, with Nick Foles looking to his biggest target in Alshon Jeffrey. Incomplete. It's now 4th and goal. 4th and 2, to be exact, in a 15-10 game, with just over a minute remaining in the postseason. Wait, what the hell? That was the exact score and situation, with the roles reversed, in Philly's first playoff game last season. Falcons WR Julio Jones let the 4th down pass squiggle through his hands. Golden Tate didn't. The Eagles rolled Foles out on the play, with playoff Santa finding Tate for the go-ahead score. Unbelievable. Fate smiles on certain athletes, and Nick Foles seems to be one of those athletes. How else do you explain the manner in which the last 2 years have played out, the synchronicity that has led to Foles and Philly's success? It might not be luck. It might not be divine intervention, either. Side note, tell you what ain't luck, Foles' actual touchdown toss to Tate. Watch it again. Leonard Floyd gets his formidable wingspan in Foles' line of sight, causing the Eagles QB to drop to a 3/4 arm slot before flicking the ball to Tate in stride for the short score. So impressive, and so easy to miss while watching the play unfold in real time. Nothing is real anymore with Foles and this Philadelphia team. Eagles need to get out to fast start versus Saints on Sunday. NBCSPTHE Eagles have scored in the first quarter in 7 games this season, including the wild card game, and are 7-0 in those games. They are 3-7 when they don't score in the first quarter. While the Eagles have the best winning percentage in the NFL when they score in the first quarter this season, they're 7-0, the Saints are second. They're 10-1 when they score in the opening quarter. Including Sunday, the Eagles have now won 19 straight games when they score in the first quarter. In last 2 seasons, they are 22-1 when they score in the first. That's the best winning percentage in the league for those games. The only loss came in Kansas City in Week 2 last year. New Orleans vs. Philadelphia matchups: Saints offense vs. Eagles defense. Canal Street chronicles the injured Saints line will have to get healthy in a hurry against a talented Philadelphia front 7 that had 44 sacks on the year. The Eagles' pass defense gave up 269 yards per game through the year, ranking 30th in the league, but were ravaged by injuries in their secondary all season. Philadelphia allowed 300 YD passers this season, including 303 to the Bears' Mitchell Trubisky last week. A physical foursome of pass rushers up front are the key to any success this defense has against the pass. All-Pro defensive tackle Fletcher Cox, 10.5 sacks, along with talented edge rushers Michael Bennett, 9, Chris Long, 6.5, and Brandon Graham, 4.5, are disruptive to any offensive scheme. Linebackers Nigel Bradham, Jordan Hicks, and Camu Grugier-Hill can be devastating blitzers, but are extremely athletic in pass coverage. Despite the Eagles' struggles at cornerback, safeties Corey Graham and former Saint Malcolm Jenkins can still be difference makers on the back end. 10 thoughts on the NFL, the playoffs, and the Bears' Windy City Gridiron. The Philadelphia Eagles head to the Dome to battle them. The odds of the Eagles getting a bunch of breaks 2 weeks in a row are slim, so give me the Saints to win 28-14. Week 18 DVOA ratings, Football Outsiders. Another obvious story in the current DVOA ratings is that there is a huge gap between the top 6 teams remaining and the final 2, Dallas and Philadelphia. This gap exists whether you look at total regular season DVOA or weighted DVOA. Even this last weekend, both the Colts and Chargers had higher single-game DVOA ratings than the Cowboys or Eagles. Cliff Kingsbury is the new Arizona Cardinals head coach per reports. Revenge of the Birds. Kingsbury is coming off being fired from his job at Texas Tech, where he amassed a 35-40 record at Texas Tech while going 1-2 in bowl games in his 6 seasons as head coach with the Red Raiders. The thing that stands out above all else on Kingsbury is his work with offenses. His Texas Tech offenses were always some of the most prolific in college football. His offenses while with the Red Raiders finished 12th, 16th, 1st, 2nd, 10th and 8th in terms of yards per game. Questions that Kingsbury will have to answer will relate to who he feels out his coaching staff with and if he can compete defensively. Buccaneers announced the hiring of Bruce Arians. Bucs Nash and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers announced today that Bruce Arians has been named the 12th head coach in franchise history. Arians is a 2-time Associated Press NFL Coach of the Year, earning the award in 2012, Indianapolis Colts, and in 2014, Arizona Cardinals. He is the only coach in NFL history to earn the award multiple times in a 3-year span with different teams and is one of only 12 coaches in NFL history to win the award multiple times. LaShawn McCoy openly hopes Buffalo Bills add Alabama offensive lineman. Buffalo rumblings. Dean Dawkins and Tre'Davious White both had a run-in with LaShawn McCoy on social media. Even the Philly skyline is trolling the Bears over the double doink. SB Nash and Philadelphia's penchant for having precisely zero chill continued on Monday night with the famous Payco building over the city being all lit up to celebrate the double doink. Social media information, BGN Facebook page. Click here to like our page. BGN Twitter, follow at Bleeding Green. BGN Manager, Brandon Lee Godin, follow at Brandongo. And BGN Radio Twitter, follow at BGN_radio.